All right. So, welcome everybody to the first ever podcast episode for Atlas. I'm here with a amazing guest. He does so much right now for some of the community here in Kansas. My name is Seth Butner, and I am the owner of Atlas Education. And I am so happy to introduce a great guy that I am so happy that I have him here. And I'm excited to get to know him more right along with you guys. We have Steve Nelson. Go ahead and say hi to everybody.
Right on. Hey, everybody. Steve from, sorry, let me get my phone shut off. Not very professional. Steve from a Reptile I Am, ARIA Reptiles. A lot of people, you may already know who we are, so for those people, what's up, soldiers? You already know what time it is. For those that don't, don't take my word for who we are, because we're all going to say that we're the best. Just check it out for yourself.
Absolutely.
And super happy to be here, Seth. I was really happy to hear that it was your first show and that I was the first person that you invited on. So I'm here for whatever you need, boss.
Awesome, man. I appreciate it, man. Yeah, I personally wanted to have you on because one, I haven't really gotten to know you a lot, and I see everything that you're doing on Facebook, and I can just see all the love and support that you are giving to the community here in Kansas and anybody who's a part of your area community. So I was like, this guy is going to be a great guest especially for my first podcast episode. So I'm excited to get into it and learn more about you, man.
Sure. Right on.
All right. So first thing I want to know is what started this all? What started ARIA? Like, what got you started into this?
Okay. Well, for a totally other show, we'll talk about that. I've always been doing herping before I even knew what herping was. 5 and 6 years old, bringing home snakes, amphibians. If it was alive and it was crawling, I wanted to grab it. I wanted to hold it for a couple days, observe, let it go. Like I said, that's a totally other multiple shows. ARIA, that's a really funny kind of long story too. It really started, basically, it got going 2 years ago. As for the Facebook stuff, that really took off. It's shy of a year. And it's crazy to say that with how much everything is really just, it's ignited. So it's definitely exciting, but it wasn't even a concept. I happened to go into a pet store and which wasn't anything odd for me. It was my birthday and I was like, you know what, let's just look around. And I went around the corner and they had a tank with 3 ball pythons. And I didn't know that there was so many different things out there. I wasn't following the community, and dude, there's even more snakes in the last 5 years. It's just an ever evolving, ever changing.
Oh yeah.
It's amazing.
Oh, for sure.
I went in and I didn't even know what these morphs were. And it was a pinstripe that caught my eye. Okay. I just love the gold coloration on it. And I'd never seen, like I said, I'd never seen a snake like that before because I'd never searched. And I had decided, they had it scribbled on the front, the 3 prices or whatever. And I had told myself, well, you know what, Steve, it's your birthday. And I just received a stupid fat check from work.
Okay.
A stupid fat check. So like my pocket was on fire anyways. If it wasn't that, who knows? I might have come home, snowblower. I don't even know, but like, I was making it home.
Right.
So I decided if he wasn't the most expensive one in the tank, bro, you're coming home.
Right.
Now, what the guy at the exotic pet store didn't know is I had this much stuff at the house ready to go. So when I had decided to buy that snake, I already knew there's no way I'm getting out of here, without dropping another $400 or $500.
Right.
Because even though I was new to that, I'm definitely not new to animals. And I'm really deep into aquarium stuff, like aquatics, fish, things like that, turtles for, dude, I don't even know, 20 years now. Makes me feel really old. When I was really young, dude. So he wasn't the most expensive. I said, wrap him up. I bought the great big Exoterra substrate, all, the full 9 yards, and went ahead and took him home. Now, mind you, this was a spur of the moment purchase. So me and the wife had not conversed about this, Seth.
Those are always the greatest.
No, wait, you don't know how great it is. Let me say what a crazy world it is that I am living in my house right now with the stuff you're getting ready to hear. So I come home, great big, Exoterra. Now at the time I didn't know. So I bought the 36 by 18 by 18 and I went with the low boy, the 12.
Gotcha.
But anyways, I'm just like, yeah, this takes just, yeah, look at me. I'm new, but look at me. Anyways, I dropped the money, came home, set it up. Mama come home from work and she's like, what is going on here? And I was like, don't even worry about it, man. It's already taken care of. And we'd been together for already, 13, 14 years. She'll give you the number. I'm in trouble, but whatever. After 10 years, it's a lifetime. So anyways, I didn't know that she was deathly afraid of snakes.
Oh no.
I've always been the see a snake, catch a snake.
Right.
And she knew that for the 1,400 years we had all been together.
Yeah.
Because I catch a wild snake and I'll catch like a racer or something, and I've got the head secured. Well, I'm putting it through the back window and letting the kids touch it. And I'm showing them if no matter what the animal is, if you respect what that animal can do, you can do whatever you want, but you damn sure better respect what that animal. And when you respect what that animal can do, you can be safe around whatever animal.
Absolutely.
A lion, tiger, bear, if you know the rules, you'll be okay. Now, I don't say you should do these things, but it's all the same.
I totally agree with that.
Maybe not all the same, but come on, guys, don't crucify me on it. You know where I'm going with it. But anyway, so Mama, this ain't a problem. This ain't a problem. Seth, it's a problem. Now, the guy at the store also let me know that there was a reptile show coming up in 2 weeks. This guy clearly was not truly a friend. He's the most expensive person I've ever met in my life to date, because I went to that show and I thought, okay, Mama's trying to get me to get rid of this snake. I got to get a snake for her and see if I can rope a dope this around. So I went to the show. She absolutely wasn't going, and absolutely tried to get me angry beforehand, so I didn't go. And I'm like, I'm going anyways. I'm going anyways. So I went to the show, and she's a sucker for your bright yellows and your oranges and things like that. So, man, here I am walking through, and there's a pastel inchy het clown just screaming yellow with an orangish belly. That's Daisy May, if anybody knows. And I called her up and I said, hey, Jenny, I know that you're not a snake fan or whatever, but tell me that you don't think this is exceptional, And I showed her the picture and she's like, oh, that is cute. And I was like, I feel like you need your own. She's like, I really don't. And I was like, well, but if I can make a good deal, I'd like to get this for you. And she's always pressing on me for a wiener dog. So I'm always trying to bring in a snake as a replacement. It's not working. It doesn't hundreds of snakes I've brought through that door. It's not replacing a dachshund. I'm still in the pocket. We don't know that there's not a number. But anyways, she said, well, you need to do what you think you need to do. Guys, that's a setup. And I knew it was a setup, but I was like, She didn't say no. I went ahead and I snagged it up. And I'll go ahead and give the shout out. Somebody that was actually in the last, he was at the last show, and some members were commenting on his stuff. And that's 8-Ball Exotics, Jacob Alansky.
I know.
So yeah, you're a local boy, so you probably do. He travels around quite a bit. He's a good guy. But anyways, he gave me a good deal, and I went ahead and scooped her up and went home. And Jenny was hesitant at first, but you know, after a couple hours, she had to see the baby, and I thought everything was okay. So I decided it was time to step the game up. I was like, all right, we got her one, we got me one, let's get me another one. You know, I think when we all start, when people talk about, hey man, on Craigslist, $100 snake with enclosure and this and that, and we know just enough to really get ourselves in trouble with the collection. You know, we're not sure what quarantine is, and
right.
We don't know about all these extra things, and you know, we visually are smart enough to know, okay, this snake is not droopy and dead. Whoa, we're good. So, and that wasn't what happened for this part of the story, but it has happened. But anyways, I went to Craigslist. I found this kid. He was going to college. It was a really legit deal, and he had a full-grown 7-year-old Cali king snake, who we've also had on the page and stuff. We named him Sid, like Sid the Sloth. Well, they named him Sid, and we loved it, so we kept it. We brought him in, and he came with the most obnoxious enclosure I'd ever seen in my life. It was the Exoterra 36 by 18 by like every bit of 36. It might be 42. Dude, when I say ridiculous,
that's insane.
It was insane. Now, the problem with the tank was the only place that would work was directly next to Jenny's desk where she works. And bro, I mean, this is the left-hand side of your wall at your desk. It's oh boy.
Yeah.
And I brought it home. And it was a great deal. The snake was super healthy. The kid just had to go to college, and his mom was like, I told you that you keep this.
I ain't keeping this snake.
And his mom could not have been more serious.
Right.
She dropped the price $100 on the spot, and I was like, I'm not going to do that because this tank is I don't even know. It looks like it come from a zoo. I've only seen one other pet store that I've ever walked in that even sells it. They're redonkulous. But anyways, that's what the wife's sensation was too. And she walked through the door, and says she just broke down in tears and turned around and walked away. And I mean, I hate to say this on a podcast, but it probably would have been better if I'd have got busted cheating on her.
Oh, God.
When you find somebody's absolute line and you didn't, I thought that we had maybe erased a little bit of it, you know? But the size of that tank was more than she could bear.
Gotcha.
So I ended up having to do like a total house reset. I really thought she was going to leave me.
Oh, no.
Make me leave. Like, it was serious. She just broke down in tears, and that's not my wife. She's down to argue back with me. And she would just like walk in 3 steps, saw the tank, cried, turned around and walked in. I was like, I don't even know how to embrace this situation.
Right.
What was I expected a little bit of yelling and a little bit of apologies, and maybe I buy you another snake. Who knows? You know, we'll see. You know, I'm sorry.
Maybe some foot rubs.
Here's a pied. So it kind of was right there, and that was the very beginning of us getting into it and me going to the shows. And first of all, I love the community, and I love what we've done with ARIA, and we have just barely scratched the surface, brother. we're getting our legs under us to get strong so we can do some heavy lifting for the community.
Absolutely.
Like I'm doing right now, it's all out of pocket. We're not soliciting anything. We're not driving anything because that's not what it's about. We've been really blessed with what we're doing for our full-time jobs, and I've just been giving it back. And for whatever reason, guys, and I know for the most part, unfortunately, the world doesn't work like this anymore. And I don't know if maybe it was a media scheme that we all forgot, but the more I do for the community without asking anything back, I'm getting it tenfold. I can't even explain what's going on right now. So, and I've never been the one that walked around and was like, man, I'm so blessed. I'm so blessed. We've grinded everything we've had. So it's just insane to me. 20 years ago, when me and the wife first got together, some real talk, we had to put a TV on layaway for $225. Took me 2 months at the job I was doing to pay it off. It's insane to think how much I dropped yesterday at the show. I don't know what's going on, dude.
Right.
So it's really hard to explain. And then I meet people like you, and you're like, dude, I want to have this guy on the show. And I'm excited about being here too, because it's just another little bit of a blessing.
Right.
So, there it is. And then I went to a couple shows. The wife went with me. The reason I mentioned that I love the community is, unfortunately, I had some not so good experiences at some of these shows with these breeders and these vendors. Now, here's the funny thing, Seth. They know what this is now, but they didn't know who this was. Right. Even though I still 100% know who said what and who thought stuff was funny. And it's just strange. Some people, they're not in it for everybody else. They'll give you direct bad information and will damage your collection because they're afraid of what you're doing. Or they didn't even have to be afraid of what I was doing. I had 3 snakes. I was never even thinking about breeding or starting something up. But I have to say thank you, because that's why ARIA is here and why we do what we do, because we stand against that and we're coming for you, bro.
Absolutely.
The ones that are doing wrong, leave now. Right. And run fast and hide.
Right.
I'm not the SPCA, but I am ARIA.
Right.
And I do have a small army.
Oh, 100%.
I'm just saying, I went into a store 5 days ago that's in grave danger right now. I haven't decided how I'm going to proceed forward. Sick animals, dead animals, the most disgusting pet store I've ever been into in my entire life. And I'm embarrassed to say that I took my entire family there.
Ooh.
My entire family.
Wow.
And I'm trying to cover for what's going on because we're already halfway into the store. And, my daughter turns around and she goes, Dad, is this tarantula dead? And honestly, I had to lie to her and tell her it was the molt. I said, no, it's the molt, baby, but it was not.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
I was trying to cover for her. And then I'm like, hey, you know what? Let's get away from the reptiles because they have knowledge of what they're looking at. And it was already so bad. I'm trying to usher that we're kind of going a different direction. Is this okay?
Yeah, that's fine.
This is just something that's eating on me.
Oh, I got you, man. I totally agree. Like, for us here with Atlas, that's why I wanted to start Atlas, was because I wanted to change the mindsets and I want to be a part. I saw everybody out starting to, in the reptile community, there's starting to be a movement. There is a movement that is so hidden that I am I'm loving to see just an animal movement in general. People are putting out content and out information that showing that these animals are not things to be afraid of. Like you said, to be respected, but not to be afraid of. As long as you respect an animal, like you can live with it, you can be around it, and have a fantastic
Absolutely.
relationship. And
Absolutely. And that's how I raise my kids.
yeah, and that's what I want to do whenever I end up having a kid. I want to teach them that the environment that they're around, it's something to cohabitate with, to live with, and not to destroy. Um,
Absolutely.
and so that's a big thing for us, and that's why I want to. People think I'm crazy because I say like I want to have in my building that I'm wanting to get to. I want to have alligators and crocodiles, and I want to have venomous snakes.
Yeah.
And specifically, it's not because I'm this adrenaline junkie. I'm here because I want to show people that even though these animals have these bad lights in media, as long as you handle them correctly and you have the right husbandry and the right care for them in general, they're actually not this horrible beast.
Exactly. And honestly, Seth, you get the right, the right paperwork and stuff in line. Why wouldn't you house venomous with what you guys are trying to do on the
Exactly.
education side? And why would they fight you in Kansas or Missouri when we're dropped almost dead square in the middle of the United States?
Yep.
Let you bring in gaboons, let you bring in all of the native species,
Yep.
let you bring in the stuff that people are housing from the East Coast to West Coast. That's the dirty little secret. You can get a gaboon viper or whatever, and they're beautiful. They're
Oh,
gorgeous.
oh yeah. I'm actually
That
about.
venom, that venom is only good for what I know to be for like 6 month time frame, and then it's no good.
Yeah.
So it's not even housed in very many places, and it's $15,000 a vial, and you're looking at 7 to 11 vials, maybe.
Yeah.
Dude, are you kidding me right now? You're dead. So, if we want to talk about what's good for the overall health of the community, somebody has got to be taking these animals and doing the right things with them. I'm not saying you should milk them, but bring in a professional, milk them, and we'll have the venom right here. And we can, whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely, man.
You can liquidate that out,
Oh yeah.
in the middle of the United States. And anything is possible if you decide you really want to do it.
Yep.
And I don't care who says what. And I didn't used to believe that until the last 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
But it really is, how much do you want to work?
Yep.
It is.
That's why I'm wanting to we've been hustling and bustling for the past. We started Atlas August 1st of 2020, and we've been hustling and bustling. We've done a birthday party. We're about to do go to a library and have a show there to educate some people there for the public. And yeah, we're taking every single chance we get to get our name out there and to just make a step.
Just keep doing what you're doing, and the name will go.
Oh yeah.
I can't express that enough. Like I said, the more that I give, it comes back. And I'm not saying that it's coming back to me in the reptile community. I'm not saying that either, because I definitely get love that direction too. And probably more than I deserve. But it's in just so many different things. It's changed my whole psyche and outlook on stuff.
Yeah.
And I enjoy doing it, and with being able to do it right now, and I'm still paying all my bills, and I mean, I'm still getting reptiles. Why not?
Right.
So I've kind of, and I'm not trying to be spoke on for blasphemy or whatever, but I've kind of decided it's kind of like ARIA is kind of like my church. So I try to make sure I give my 10%.
I got
And so I like to make sure I'm giving it to the group. Any of my breeder friends in the group, I buy from you first. Absolutely. Even if your stuff is $100 more, or whatever it is, it's all going towards what we're trying to do in the community. And here's all that I can say to anybody else. I am absolutely going to be your friend until you're not my friend.
Right.
I'm loyal, and I'm loyal to a fault. So it's just how it is. And if you're that way, then we're going to be down for life.
Right.
I'm really straightforward. I try to be fun loving, but I'm passionate, and there's a reverse side of passion, and that's so that's just the reality of it. But I think any of us that are really doing what we're doing got a little bit of that.
Oh, absolutely. That's what makes fun.
That's what's fun, dude. I just try to, no matter where I go, I try to play, I try to laugh, I try to smile.
Absolutely.
Have a problem making myself the butt end of the joke. If
right.
I know everyone else is laughing, I've done my job.
Right.
So I'm just here to entertain.
All right. Well, to segue into another topic, what are some of the animals that you keep in your collection?
We've got leopard geckos. We've got a couple pair of breeding crested geckos. A ton of crested gecko babies, because they're so cute with that giant dinosaur head.
Right.
Every time an egg opens, we're like, all right, guys, we're gonna grow this one up. We're gonna let it go, and it's just not happening. And on the ball python side of things, it's almost a name it kind of game.
Right.
So other than a couple of the super high end, we're pretty much in on it.
Gotcha.
And the only reason I haven't gone in on a couple of the others, like the sunset and the monsoon, I'm kind of sitting back right now. I like monsoon, don't get me wrong, but it's just like that's buying a new car type stuff with how I want to lace it.
Right.
We got some really high end stuff as it is, so we're gonna play with that and kind of stay in our lane with some of the genetics that direction.
Okay.
We are in the market to possibly get an iguana. I want a blue iguana, dude.
Okay. I was just about to ask you what kind of iguana.
I've been looking at them, and I want to get a baby and grow it up. And I know
Absolutely.
it's a while, but I want it to be like the house cat kind
Absolutely.
of thing.
Those are the best.
6 or 7 years, and they're just gorgeous.
Oh, for sure.
We're also in the market looking. Now we're moving right now, and that's the only reason I'm not saying that we've got this and this and this. But I want to get me a couple, possibly like sulcatas, or I think they're called like Indian cross tortoises or something like that. They've got a real kind of ornamental design on the shell. But I personally feel if you're going to house tortoises, you need to have a large area. You know, you really be able to move around and stuff. So what do you guys have?
Oh, we've got a variety of things. So we have our first 2 animals that we ever got together. We got 2 club-tail iguanas.
Nice.
So we were really interested in them because they're a really unknown species of iguana. There's really not a lot out there that is like has information on and stuff like that. So we were really interested in kind of just learning while keeping. And so they've been really fun to work with. And they stay pretty small, so they don't get huge like the green iguanas. Then we have 2 bearded dragons that we rescued. 2 male bearded dragons. They're both totally completely different. They're like yin and yang. one is the loveliest, best bearded dragon you can ever have, and the other one hates anything, hates everything.
Yeah.
Which always keeps us on our toes. We have
Just
four.
love me.
Right. We have four leopard geckos that we're actually starting to breed.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Awesome.
we're starting to get into that breeding situation. Kind of starting out small. Then we have a Kenyan sand boa. That's an albino. She's a pain, but she eats. She's healthy. So, um, and then we have a Nicaraguan red tail or BCI. And then we have a ball python that we rescued. He's 15 years old, and he has a big scar on his back, so we named him Scar from Lion King.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
I saw that in one of the threads.
yeah, he's a great animal. He's super calm. We can touch him on his face and no reaction to it. Then we have my personal favorite animal that we have, which is our reticulated python.
Nice. How big's that?
He's 9 foot. She's a little over a year old.
Oh, how long have you had her?
We've had her for almost a little over a year, I think. We got her when she was born July 4th of I think 2020, and we got her I think a few months afterwards. And you've had
her pretty much the haul.
Yeah, she's a rock star, but she's so sweet. I love her, and she is the biggest attraction whenever we go to shows. Whenever we do different educational things, we bring her. Everybody's afraid of her to begin with, and then they're like, "I want to hold her! I want to hold her! I want to hold her!"
Right?
Because they see how sweet she is, and so she's great. We have a 3.5-foot Nile Monitor.
How's that temperament going?
So it definitely was interesting. We got him when he was just a few inches long. He's probably that long.
Okay. So you've had him.
Yep, we've had him for probably almost 2 years now. He started out doing really well. He was really hesitant, but he started doing good. And I was watching all of Nerd's videos on how to do socialize them, and trying to get as much information as I can. And that was all before I bought him. And so while I was working with it, I messed up a couple times and broke a couple threads of trust. So we had to start from scratch.
Yeah.
And we're starting to do that. We got him into a bigger enclosure where he's got room to move away when we are interacting with him. And he's got 4 levels that he goes into.
Nice.
And we only interact with him on 2 levels. So if he's on the bottom 2 levels, we don't mess with him. We just let him be. So he understands where if he needs to get away from us, he can go down there, and we don't mess with him. And so we absolutely have to. But as you've probably seen in your threads, we got him out a couple days ago, and he was walking around in our room that we got sealed pretty much, so we can interact with him where he's not being forced on. He can kind of interact with us when he's ready to. And he's doing so much better. He's like what used to puff up consistently anytime you got close to his enclosure, to now he just sits there, and sometimes he gets like on the glass where he's like interested in what we're doing when we work with all of our other animals. And then we have a baby snapping turtle that we're raising up.
Nice.
It's an alligator snapper. So that's
Did you catch it or?
No. So we got her from a show that there was like only one left, and so we were like, well, we really wanted to do a turtle because we didn't have a turtle at the time, so we ended up getting her, and she was really cool. Like, she's really cool. She loves food so much. And then we have a Burmese Python is our last animal. And he. Oh, right. And we also have our black and white Argentine take. So those are pretty much all of our animals. Um, they're a lot, but they're great. I love them all.
Yeah, it's a passion,
Oh,
man.
absolutely.
It's a passion, and honestly, that's what you end up seeing when people get into it or whatever. They're like, and a lot of people did it when the COVID stuff happened.
Yep.
It's why you can't get racks and stuff.
Right.
Obviously, there's low manufacturing, but it's because everyone's buying that stuff up. But
Right.
don't worry, guys, there's going to be a ton of that on the market here in the next year and a half, because those people are out there chasing the dollar. And if you're doing this to make money, you're probably in the wrong line of business.
Right.
Because you don't realize the amount of time you're going to put into these animals and the things that you're going to have to do to keep them healthy if they get sick.
Right.
I can't tell you the amount of poop and pee that I deal with on a daily.
Oh, I get it. I mean,
believe that the wife don't stab me in the neck because I wasn't the poopy diaper changer as all the kids. And man, some of this stuff's on another level nasty.
right.
So yeah, dude, it's definitely got to be a passion, but
For sure.
I love the animals so much that you can kind of look past that stuff.
Oh yeah.
It's hard to do when you know that you got 2.5 hours of tubs to clean, but
Right.
that just means I get to go through the collection. Because when I have a nasty day, dude, I just go pop a bin and start looking in them. And for whatever reason, it helps me out.
Right.
So that's kind of my bread and butter.
Oh yeah.
But the flip side of things too, for being an animal lover, a lot of people don't know this. I'm allergic to almost everything.
Oh wow.
That great skin that'll tan, and during the summer, everybody, oh, I wished I could tan. Yeah, well, this skin comes with the flaws of if it can make you itchy, poison ivy, sumac, any of that stuff, I'm contagious. Bad. I'm allergic to cats, dogs. We have both. They're inside. It's just the dander or whatever. And I've just grown accustomed to. I love all my animals. I absolutely get sanitized up, and
Right.
my arms are kind of itchy all the time, but it unfortunately it's just part of it because I can't control what my body is saying, but my heart's saying something different.
Right.
So it ain't hurting the animal. And even though it's agitating my arms or whatever, that's what really appeals me about the snakes.
Right.
You got none of that dander, and I could just lay in. It don't bother me.
Right. And they're quiet.
And they're badass.
Oh, absolutely, for sure. The colors, especially nowadays, it's insane.
Yeah. Well, and here's the other thing. Think about what we're going to be talking about in 5 years, dude.
Oh, I know. It's going to be crazy.
What's insane now, it was just as insane 5 years ago.
Yeah,
Teens were just coming up, older, and 5 years before that, and 5 before that. It all started somewhere.
Oh, yeah.
So who knows? Who knows? We're just now finding new tricks and stuff with genetics.
Yep.
Like the krypton and cryptic gene with ball pythons. What the heck? There's new rules coming up that we're starting to play with now that's gonna change some games when we start inputting other stuff.
Right.
I think we're going to unlock another piece to the puzzle here in the next 2 to 3 years. And I'm excited to see whatever it is. Who knows?
Right.
But I know it's coming. It's always evolving. It's insane. I love it, dude. I love it.
Oh yeah. I think it's really cool. So talking about that, so as I said, I see that there's a big movement going on in the animal community in general. There is so many people who are pushing a great message. So what do you think that the future of the reptile community is going to be like here in, like you said, next 5 years?
Yeah, I agree, man. I see the upswing. Even I don't shop there, but I'll get like maybe my fish food or whatever if I smash into a PetSmart or a Petco or whatever, just like anywhere else. I'll get my regular supplies there if I have to, and I want to be overcharged a lot or whatever. But if it's convenient, I'll swing through whatever. But just look at how much the reptile section has grown. Has anybody noticed that in the last 6 months, 12 months?
Yeah.
Used to walk in there and they'd have one bowl and maybe two hides. You go in now, they got 12 different hides, 14 different types of bowls.
Right.
I'm actually seeing these stores, even though they don't know what they're doing and they're not naming it right, they are holding morphs.
Yeah.
So like there's a lot of change happening, and I think it's going to be a much bigger section in the next 3 years. It's going to be like your cats and dogs.
Yeah. I think so too.
It's insane. There's absolutely a movement, and I do now. I see more good people in the community as I'm traveling. Because what a lot of people get stuck in is the pocket for wherever they live, and they may not be able to travel to different states or shows, or they're not connected with different people outside of their small zone or area, their jurisdiction, if you will.
Yeah.
Dude, it's amazing when you go 2 or 3 states over and hit a show, even though things remain the same, it is a little bit different, just how the people are and the interactions. So even those that get soured at one type of event, dude, you just got somebody. And here's the other thing, dude. When I say that I've had bad interactions, I do try to be empathetic and think about the fact, dude, I don't know what's going on with this person's day. I don't know if something serious, their kid's got a drug problem and they've been fighting it, or
Right.
we laugh, whatever, but like seriously. So I
for sure.
keep that stuff in mind as an adult. Bro, I don't even know if I've had a good day, even if I think I am, until my kids get home from school and I know what my charges are.
Right.
Because when the kids get in trouble, it's on the parents. Oh, you kicked the kid off the bus. Well, that you really proved something to him.
Right.
Whatever. But the community is so great. And for the most part, everybody will give you the best knowledge that they have.
Right.
Like I said earlier, though, there are some people out there that you got to be skeptical of, but you can almost tell if somebody's genuine when you're talking to them, because especially at a show, they're not going to waste their time. There's so many people there. If they're giving you a couple minutes, probably pretty legit info. They're absolutely trying to sell the animal to you as well, but they're not going to tell you how to kill it.
Right.
None of us are vets. None of us are going to claim we're professional, but we've all been around the block a couple times. So we got a pretty good idea how it works,
For sure.
But yeah, I think it's great, especially, dude. I'm 41. You're a young cat to me, for real, dude. And I wish that I could be doing or talking to somebody and doing the stuff that you're doing at your age. Because as much as what we're doing and what we're trying to do, man, you've got a lot more legs than what I got, kid. Yeah. So get into it now. It doesn't matter how old you are. And I say this to all the young handlers that the parents share their pictures and people talk about, oh, I can't believe you do that. It goes back to knowing the animal and respecting the animal. And absolutely, yes, it's on the adult at that point to make sure that child is safe. But I remember a lot of people crucifying Steve Irwin over some stuff with his kid.
Absolutely.
just ridiculous.
Oh, look where he's at now.
And I hate to bring that up. That's old school stuff, and I'm sure there's gonna be people that say stuff, and it's my opinion versus another. But I'm not gonna tell the trash man how to empty my trash can.
Right.
So I'm not Steve Irwin. I don't have his level of experience, but I bet he loves his kid.
Oh,
I
absolutely.
his kid to a gator.
Right.
You know, that's just kind of my train of thought on it.
No, I totally agree, man. Yeah, I feel like that's how it is with a lot of things. Unfortunately, this world has become very aware of their opinions.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but like I was saying, dude, it really breaks down to those 5-6-year-old kids. Those people can say what they want to say, because in 10 years, those kids are going to be 16, 17 years old with 10 years of experience, and they might be looking to school us old schoolers with whatever new stuff comes up in the next 5. So be careful who we think is intelligent, because those that are coming up, they're going to take the keys to the kingdom. And my whole process, Seth, is not for Steve to make money. I want to hand something to my kids and give them something that maybe gets established for them to try to do something.
Right.
That's my plan. You know, I'm not old, but in the same token, I'm not going to live forever. So I want to try to pad it a little bit for my kids and just try to leave them something, and they're passionate about it. And that's what really instilled the passion.
So, what do you think the future of ARIA is going to be?
Man, it's like I was telling you earlier. I'm just so surprised at where we are right now. So like, we've got a lot of really exciting stuff coming up. I've been invited to a few openings on some reptariums and a future reptile zoo that's opening. If I got a choice of what I wanted the future to look like, I would want it to look like that. A dream come true would be the guy that's inside the enclosure with the animals, and somebody else telling me about these animals. The stuff I've always watched on TV.
Yeah, right.
I don't even care if it doesn't really pay good. I would be happy the rest of my life. You know, we're doing the snakes right now. Like I said, first of all, it's a lot of fun, and just creating something. It's awesome. We get to do crazy art.
Right.
But it's much more than that. It's about community. It's about everybody's growth. So like I said, we've spread our wings out, and anybody that wants to get on with us, we're down to help however we can help. And you know, that's either the knowledge that I personally have, but if I don't have it, I know so many friends that are in different categories with reptiles, because we all house quite a few, but we definitely have our specialties.
Oh, yeah.
And when it breaks down, everybody's got the one specialty, whether they want to say they're great at everything. There's one they're exceptional at. So like if somebody's got a sick animal, it's all about the animals, dude. So if I can help, I try to help. If I can't, I get them connected with the people that can. You know, so we went on Facebook because honestly, I think a lot of us in this community, I didn't have anybody to talk to when I first started. I didn't know anybody. And there was 2 people in my entire family that had any interest in maybe talking about it, maybe.
Right.
So it was kind of like, okay, well, I guess I got a snake. And then you share your snake on Facebook, and it's to your regular page, and 9 out of 10 people say something that you don't want to hear. You know, oh, the only snake
For the dead snake.
snake's a dead snake. And you know, honestly, when it breaks down to it, if you want to take it down to its simplest form, that's animal abuse.
Yep.
It doesn't matter if that's a mouse or that's a rat.
Yeah.
And I use that as a reference because although us keepers are having to feed some of this stuff to our collection, I've not really seen anybody abusing those feeders or anything prior,
Right.
so unfortunately it's part of the process, it's what they have to eat. So if we're going to house them, we have to feed it, whether that be frozen or it's live.
Yeah.
Like I said, that it goes down all the way down to the feeders. And now it's almost got to a weird point. I can't even believe this is like who I am. And I don't preach this, but I don't even step on ants or anything anymore. I just move around them. And
Right.
and that almost seems weird because I grew up going out hunting, shoes off, running around outside, just a dirty little boy playing in the creek and doing all that stuff, the stuff I wanted to do anyways. So I've stepped on my ant hills and stuff like that, just like anybody else. But for some reason over this last year, something's just changed. And I'm like, that ant, he's just really kind of trying to do the best he can. Oh, so that's it, man. Just whatever I can pack in here that can come out here and help somebody else. That's what I'm wanting the future of ARIA to be.
All right, that's awesome. That's definitely something I can respect, man.
So that's my thing. So what's the future of Atlas, bro?
So, what, at least as of right now, what I'm wanting and what we're fighting for is, I'm wanting to have a really big, building where people can come in. They can buy rescues. They can buy breeded snakes that are connected, that are like bred here close by. So small communities like Bleeding Moon Exotics. That's a really close friend of ours, and he's great. So and all we're wanting to support small businesses. So we want to have all those people come and be able to have their product in the store as well. And then be able to buy a specific different tours, and be able to just either walk around the building or get more hands-on with animals. And then in time, I would like to get a big enough place where I can have owls and birds of prey, where people can come in.
Big plans.
Yeah,
Big
and
plans,
be able
dude.
be able to actually like fly a owl and have it land on your hand and feed it there.
Yeah, dude, I mean, we're getting off track on it or whatever, but there's some exquisite patterns on an owl.
Oh yeah.
A lot of people may just know they go, hoo.
Oh,
It's more than that.
they're gorgeous.
I was just down at the lake here a couple years. Well, it was about last year and a half. I can't remember. COVID's got everything so screwy.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm so busy. I don't even know how this is happening, dude. Like a week and a half goes by and I'm like, holy, what happened? It's
Right.
the 12th. It's
Right.
the 28th. Like, it's insane the amount of time that's just flying.
Right.
But I was down by Lake of the Ozarks and it was like 9:30 and I'm just driving down this gravel road going towards my dad's place. And dude, there was an owl that swooped over the top of my car. I don't know. He was clearly getting something.
Uh-huh.
And it wasn't that he swooped down low. I mean, he was still 4.5, 5 foot above the top of my window, but the wingspan, dude, it scared the crap out of me, honestly. Like I thought maybe I was gonna hit whatever. It was huge. It had to have been every bit of 4.5 foot. And I
Right.
would say like 5 or 6. but I'm going to stay absolutely realistic. And it was every bit of 4.5 wingspan.
Right.
Big bird, but
Yeah,
you're a different game. I don't know a whole lot about the, what is it? Aviaries?
Yeah, aviaries, or I have a really close friend that does falconry.
Yeah, well, dude, see, that's actually where I was going with it. I don't know enough about it, and that's one of those animals that I'm getting at. You better respect it, and I respect it enough to know I'll wear the falconer glove if there's a professional there, but like you don't become professional without taking a little.
Right.
Uh, I've been bit by my fair share of snakes, so
Right.
those birds are for real.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, I for me it's a lot of bringing light to that stuff. So like I feel like here in Kansas, the venomous community and the falconry community is very hidden and very underground.
Mhm.
And unfortunate for people who are really interested in that, it's almost seems impossible for them to do it correctly. It
I actually I don't know anybody that practices it, falconry.
I know one person. That's it.
And did you search for them?
Nope. I literally I ran
Oh,
across her. She started working at my work, and she
oh,
was wearing a shirt that said I work with sharp things, and it has a claw.
claw, yeah, no, yeah, for
And I
real.
was like, "Hold up. Do you do falconry?" And she was like, "Yeah, actually." I said, "Oh my god, we're going to be best friends. We're going to be best friends. It's just what it is." And we actually went hawking with her. It was a few months ago, and honestly, nothing happened. But she almost was able to catch a falcon, a red-tailed hawk, and it was honestly the funnest like 2 hours that I've had in my life. It
Dude,
was
that sounds insane.
it was just driving around. That's all we really were doing. But it was
How do you go about catching that?
so she
Seems like, dude, for real, give me a rattlesnake. I just see, first of all, how do you get to said bird? And then clearly you're gonna at some point have to grab the leg. Bro, that sounds
oh yeah, it's crazy.
give me some venomous.
Right. Right.
Remember earlier when I was like, you got you some. So
I
go ahead. I am interested, but I had to get my 2 cents.
no, you get it, man. It was so cool, and it's awesome because just the fact of like how many people don't know how it's done. Nobody knows that it even exists. There's so many people who don't even know it exists.
Yeah,
Like they
yeah.
see people like, oh, they work with birds, but they don't understand that it's literally people use them for hunting, like straight up hunting. And so like what I want to do is be able to help enlighten the public of like, hey, this is a thing. So if you see people doing this, it's not this horrible thing. They're licensed. They have everything that they need to do for that. They've gone through hours of training. So it's just something to be more respectful of. And
That's very interesting.
yeah, I think
Now you got me interested.
it's
Uh,
freaking cool.
I hope that works out, dude. That's kind of crazy.
Yeah, because
That's my kind of crazy, but
that was
bull,
one thing that I always wanted at our zoos here in Kansas is I wanted more interactions. I wanted more like be able to go in, and even if you have to pay extra and
yeah.
be able to actually interact with certain animals. Like
Bro, have you been to Tanganyika?
no.
Are you dude, are you even playing with me right now?
No, I'm serious. I've never even heard of it.
Okay. So, for those that don't know, Tanganyika is an exotic walk-through petting zoo.
Okay.
Exactly what you were just describing. And I'll tell you this much, people, if you're thinking about going sooner rather than later, because there's a lot of restrictions that they try to throw at these people.
Yep.
And what I'm saying is get in while you can. It's the price is worth it, but there is a price, but it's not going to be like you're going to an amusement park or anything. I don't want to quote their pricing because I don't remember.
Okay.
But when you go in, you can see all of the animals. But just like you said, if you want to interact, you can buy special passes. And we fed a rhinoceros. We hand fed giraffes, baby and adult. Got to touch the tongues. Found out that giraffes have blue tongues. Just, oh, dude, blew my mind. And my kids, and my mind was blown. So they were having even more fun than anything, you know.
Right.
We got to go in and lay down and play with kangaroos,
Awesome.
their babies, bro, and awesome, awesome animals.
Where is this at?
It is outside of Wichita, Kansas. I want to say probably 30 minutes.
Okay. Okay.
And look it up, dude. It's
Really?
it's legit.
Okay.
I would highly recommend it to anybody. And like I said, do it in the next 2 years. I'm not putting a time frame that I know, but it's smart to do it. And the sooner you do it, the sooner you're gonna go back.
Oh, for
I
sure. Hell, I mean, we did a video tour of the zoo in Kansas City.
oh yeah, we got
So
season passes.
yeah, so if that's the case, then I might try to see if we can do that with that place too, and hopefully try to get that out more.
Mhm.
Because
It's
yeah,
cool, dude.
that sounds awesome.
It's definitely cool. And dude, I'd link up with you and we could both go and
Yeah,
fit game and see what we could do. And you know, the flip side is I also know about it because half of my life I'm living somewhere else in the state out in Kansas.
okay.
So I live in Missouri and Kansas, like 4.5 hour difference either direction. Just depends on what. Like I said, dude, it's insane. I'm here 3 days and then time goes by and I go home thinking I got 7 days in a week and I don't. It's crazy, but I'm pretty close out here to it. Like I said, probably 30 or 45 minutes. So like it wouldn't be something I couldn't definitely check out. So
Yeah, I say that's about probably 3 to 4 hours from me.
and see, it's only that short of a distance because I'm out of town. Otherwise, it's 4.5 for me.
Yeah.
So, and the only reason I went was because we were out here and man, my dad is the one that was like, "Hey, we're going to take the kids to the zoo." And I was like, "Okay." Uh, and I thought he was just talking about, the Wichita Zoo.
Yeah.
And no, went somewhere else, blew my mind.
Yeah. I say, yeah, we actually are about to make a trip up there. Um, I think it's in March. Yeah, in March. Going up into Wichita. So hell, we might stop there then.
Dude, I'm telling you, and definitely let me know when you guys are going to be out here in March, and I'll just reschedule a business trip and make sure I'm here.
For sure.
If nothing else, we can go grab something to eat or whatever and chop it up. I can show you a couple really cool exotic stores out here that I've found.
Hell yeah.
Um, so coolest thing is it's the exact same chain, but we got to go hit the East store and the West store. They're both bitching.
Okay. Yeah. Sounds
So,
sounds like fun.
yeah. Good time. Good time. And that's probably about, I'm guessing that they shut that place down right now. Um, they've got a lot of really exotic tigers and they've got all sorts of stuff, dude. So like, obviously you're not feeding a tiger. That's a really bad idea. Uh, respecting the animal is respecting its space. So, but yeah, dude, definitely. Definitely. That sounds like it'd be a lot of fun.
Oh, for sure, man.
So,
All right. Well, I think we're probably gonna go ahead and end this episode here, man. thank you so much for coming on here and being my first guest.
Absolutely, dude. Absolutely. Hope to be back many times. And like I said, hope we can link up and get some stuff going, man.
Oh yeah,
On what you're doing with Atlas, bro. Keep it going, dude.
thank you, and I love what you're doing with ARIA, man.
Right on, guys. Hey, area strong all day long. Later, guys.
All right.